Just please stop yelling at me, please.
Call 911 now!
Welcome to Punished for Protecting Live with Francesca Amato Banfield. Hello, Francesca.
Hello, 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 and welcome everyone. How we doing here? We have a good sound?
We have good sound. You're a little frozen for some reason, but that's okay.
I just reopened the app. I think it should start working better. I don't know what's going on with it. They're trying to mess with me. As you guys know, they're trying to mess with me. We're so close to January 3rd right now, but we will always find a way to get these stories out to you. And hopefully I'll be out of Facebook jail soon. There's no bail for this, okay? So here it is. I do have another Facebook page. It's Francesca Amato. I will be converting it soon so that we can continue doing as many lives as possible because I have a massive schedule of stories that need to come out. While we have a few seconds here before I introduce my guest here, this is a very tragic story. They all are, but this one really touched my heart, and we rushed to get this together for you guys. So before I get into that, though, I want to talk a little bit about this whole Facebook jail thing. We have so much happening right now. We have Cindy Allen. Please go on my Facebook page, my regular profile page, and please gird her up. She has opened up a Twitter storm starting today. I believe we're going to keep going straight up until January 3rd. She does have some of you who are girding her up right now, but everyone that has Twitter right now, please find Cindy Allen. She's got the badge on her profile, so she's that Cindy Allen on my Facebook page. And she has opened up a media room for all major media outlets, and they are blasting them today, all day till, I believe, 11 o'clock tonight. So please get with her and help her. We are breaking some major stories and major ground. I started something which would be under an email account called Punished for Being a Mother, Punished for Being a Mother, the number 4 at gmail.com. This does not exempt fathers. It's just my email because I am a mother. So this is for everyone, grandparents, uncles, aunts, everyone, siblings, those of you that have been put into the diabolical foster care system and have been abused. Please send us what we're requesting right now. We're getting overloaded. The judges, corruption, pictures of them snorting cocaine, stealing money, all kinds of stuff we're getting, okay? They're not going to be able to hide anymore. And we're about to put together with our editors a nice piece on these judges to expose them even further. Now, January 3rd is so close, guys. We want to bury the old year with all its corruption, and we want to put a nail in that coffin so it never comes back again. That's what we're doing. Families worldwide are rising up to fight against this diabolical injustices to our families. And that's where we all come into play here. We all are doing this together on a worldwide effort, which is quite amazing. It's quite amazing. And this is one of the reasons we are showing all these stories. And today I have, I hope I'm saying it right, Avelia on the line. And her husband is Thomas. And this is about their daughter, Casandra. And this is about their family and what this is doing to families. Before we show this story, though, I want to say one quick thing about the old year. And I know Ted has a song I think everybody should hear. And then we're going to get right into this story now. But today on Facebook, I put up a post. I'm allowed to post and everything. I'm not in jail for posting. I'm only in jail for my lives. Okay, so because I have a big mouth, I will make sure that my mouth is continuously heard. And I thank everybody because you guys have really picked up from where they kicked me out for a little bit here. And you guys are rocking it. So thank you for what you're doing because, see, this is all about all of us, guys. It's not strictly about me. So this is about your voices. But this morning I posted something that I want to read to you guys. It's on my Facebook page. And what I said is, our love for our children has caused us all to come together worldwide to fight the evil from inside our own countries. For far too many years, they abused us and our children, using the most fragile and vulnerable as pawns. And that's not just our children, but the elderly as well. They took oaths and they violate them on a daily basis. They threaten contempt without facts. Instead of it being a justice system, it's become hell on earth. Many an innocent mother and father sits behind bars that should be restraining these corrupt, inhuman, evil servants. And with our effort, we shall make that happen. It's the changing of the guard, a time where righteousness and justice shall prevail. It's not just one nation under God, but one globe under God that laid his life down for us. Now we shall lay our life down for one another and end this abuse for our future generations. And that is what January 3rd represents. 1 year ago on January 3rd, and my story is below, well, part of it, in a petition against Judge Anthony McGinty in Ulster County, New York, for his abuse to my family and countless abuses to countless families, and why I stepped in. and was retaliated by this judge days after I reported him on 70 accounts of abuse to families and children with all wealth of information and evidence. He took my son from me for 8 months, and I got him back on September 12th, my sister's birthday. You can see in the petition below where I'm saying I'm requesting people to sign to impeach Anthony McGinty. And also what just recently happened to another person who's very vocal, who was a CPS worker, Dana Williams, in Georgia. Now, we know the corruption in Georgia I personally consider it, and this is with my work, the worst state in the country. The state where Senator Nancy Schaefer was murdered, and now just recently, what I believe to be the murder of Shannon Bicknell. It is a very corrupt state. I do not trust anybody in that state, but we're very grateful to News 6 ABC, who contacted me, and one of our core team members who is actually having her story come out now as well, and is trumping for us and advertising and January 3rd event. So God bless you, ABC News Channel 6, Stacy, for being ethical and having integrity and telling these stories. That's the kind of media the world needs. That's the kind of media that we respect. And we are going to make the changes. We are tired of fake news. That's why we have all the platforms that we have, such as Ted's show and mine and all the rest out there that are doing this message, that are trumping this message. And so now, without further ado, actually, Ted, if you don't mind, would you like to play that song to exit the old year into the new, and then we'll bring on our guest?
Sure. So this is the video that I did at the end of Wheel of Judiciary the week before, the last Wheel of Judiciary this year. This is called the New Year song, and if you guys want to join in with me, I'm not the best singer in the world. I'll join in with myself. But here it is. Turn this up. The Constitution be forgot and let families be destroyed. Jeff Sessions said that we should not, and this may help end family law. Now we will say the power grab from the lower courts must end. But the true enemy is revenue demanded by legislation. Incentives within corporations may help capitalism, but incentives used by lower courts will destroy our citizens. For what we're telling you is true. It is money that decides the ending of your family and society's demise. One will tell me that my son falls under their jurisdiction. We are willing to die for freedom and the ending of family law. Profiting off families will no longer be tolerated. If you can't stop, then Americans will put you all to an end. Yep. There you go.
It was very good. Very well done. So thank you for that. And yes, this is a serious message, and I am thankful for all the venues that are trumping this message. I believe that that is the reason why they're starting to watch their P's and Q's. I know that Dana Williams' video went so viral that the state of Georgia, who I do not trust, and I'm going to give it like it is, people. I know way too much. I do not trust CPS there or anybody else, but they came from horrific abuse in Alabama by a very corrupt judge, like all of them, like so many of them. And Georgia is watching its P's and Q's. That's the only respect I will give it, is that it's watching its P's and Q's. I do not believe that they would be watching their P's and Q's at all had not the World Wide Web taken it so viral. And I'm going to just put that out there. I know better, but we continue to pray for this family, and we continue to pray that they do the right thing, that they have not done throughout our country and our world to so many years. Just the mere fact that this happened alone is highly abusive. Without further ado, I have my guest right now, Avelia. This is a very hard story. They're all hard, but this is a very hard story to give today. But it is important, and for the sake of Casandra and her family, Avelia, the mother, and Thomas, the father, we need to have this story told today. So, Avelia, God bless you, and welcome to Punish for Protecting.
Hello, how you doing? Please, my Facebook friends, if anybody I don't know how to tag, can you please start tagging people on my Facebook? Let them know my story. Everybody that you could tag, and even if you don't know me, I would really appreciate it, and thank you from my heart. We'll start off. My daughter's Casandra Bojo, but they changed her name to Cassie Shasaban. But of course, they still take my husband's money, so-called child support for the injustice that the doctors did. Well, my daughter was always a very, very healthy child, very healthy daughter, very, very outgoing, very in school, and every excellent daughter, just the way I have another son that's older. Both of them very good kids. One day, my daughter got sick on us when she was about almost going to be 10 years old. We took her to the hospital where you see they did so many damages. First, it started with, they told us that they thought that it was lupus, which I did a timeline as best as I could. I'm not the best writer, and that's why CPS and the rest take advantage of you, but they never knew the kind of mother that I was a stand-up. Nothing's going to get me down, and nothing's going to stop me from fighting and exposing them. I don't fear you, CPS, and I don't fear you, Commissioner Ornell. As you see me in your court, I don't fear, because what I see is my daughter. That's who I live. We're here for kids, not for you guys. It's for your benefits. Well, my daughter got sick on us. We believed at first it was lupus, like they told us. I was in denial or fighting them. Well, as you see, they started committing all these damages to my daughter, all these catheters wrongly diagnosed. Well, I come to find out my daughter had E. coli, which it went to septic shock, which of course that's what attacks you, makes your kidneys. But of course they already did all these damages to her. So they covered it. CPS covered everything for the doctors. We walked in this court not knowing. They never served us with papers to go to court. They just gave us a card saying that that we had court on the backside on the such date. The 2 days, or no, 1 day, we had court the next day, plus a belcher that we were a belcher for welfare. That, like, if we were on welfare, which we were not on welfare or any of that. When we showed up for court, my husband always was a working man. He's the one that worked, and I the one that stayed home and make sure these kids were raised kindly, properly, and went to schools, because their future doesn't depend on me. It depends on them to be a better human in this life. So I made sure, and there's the proof on my Facebook of all the stuff that I accomplished, this mother has. So we went to court, we show up, my husband read all the medical records, everything, because he started seeing the injustice after, he started leaving a little bit off work, because we couldn't afford to leave work, because we have rent to pay and bills to pay. So when we showed up at court, we already had 2 attorneys. They already came up to us. They already knew exactly who we were. And remember, we're not in this criminal court. We're in a juvenile dependency court. If we were true criminals and we didn't treat our daughter for lupus, we would have been in a criminal, because there's no rehabilitation for us. Sorry, there's none, okay? So so my husband starts telling them, because he's the much calmer one. I'm the most, that I'm going to tell you straight. I'm not here to play games. I'm not here to be, because neither the high educated, like the commissioner, Lawrence, or now not judge, the attorneys, obviously they're corrupted and have no class and doing an honest job, because they only know how to steal money and be evil. From our expenses, from our hardworking money, our sweat, our kids, you dishonest, evil crooks. Well, we go, so we bring the medical records. I tell you, I brought pictures. My husband speaks, starts telling them, we're thinking these attorneys are going to help us out, you know, because, of course, we're not in and out of court. We're not people famous to be in and out in court places and all this. So we walk in court, you're thinking that these attorneys, because they exactly told us that the judge said that they're going to represent us. Remember, we didn't yet been in court. I don't know how. To me, I was, well, we don't know. Okay, we walked in court, but of course, my husband's more calmer, like I said, and I'm more the outspoken one. And we walk in there, we all sit down, you know, there was nobody else in that courtroom but just us, you know. They close this court, they don't want nobody else to know what's going on. They want to shut it off. So they said they asked me if I was Indian, and I told the judge at the time, he was a commissioner, I told him, I don't know if I'm Indian or not, but when I find out, I'll let you know. Well, he said that I'm Indian. He chose that I'm Indian because I guess he slept with my mother, but I don't know when they had sex, okay? You know, he said that I'm not Indian, native Indian. He chose that I wasn't, or my husband. So then he wanted us to sign some papers, and I told him, no, I'm not signing nothing. So they wanted us to sign a medical release, and I said, yeah, I don't care signing that. I could sign that. I have no problem doing that. But they wanted us to sign something else, and I said, no, I'm not signing nothing else. We started the court procedure. They started asking us, which I have the transcripts. I don't know if you guys have them yet. You know, like that they're saying that my daughter's dying, that we didn't treat her for lupus, and that my daughter's dying. Well, hello. If they knew my daughter was dying, how come it's not on the report? Because I sent the report to you guys that we got. Nowhere does it say that my daughter's dying. And also the commissioner said, your daughter has an infection that the hospital gave her. How did he knew? Because it was not in the report. Obviously, they already communicated before this. And at this very point, I did not know my rights. I didn't know nothing. We were very naive, like little virgins walking in this court, like many of us.
Like everybody.
You know, later on, we poked our cherry, and then we start finding out the truth. You know, it's heartache, what I'm saying, but it's the truth. We're in there. You know, we have the medical records, and I see these two little Bonita Alonso and Kathy Lee Smith. None of them telling them or turning in the medical records. I start speaking out. I said, my husband said, nobody told us that our daughter's dying. And the hospital did not give our daughter the infection. You know, and so the commissioner, without no doctors, without no nurse, nobody but the hospital, being present in court, we have this Donna Smith called social worker, investigator, RN with no license that I did not know at that moment, had nothing. Well, he orders, we turn in the medical records. He didn't want the medical records. He's refused our medical records. We told him that our daughter had, you know, the things that happened to her in the hospital. We showed him the picture. He could care less of what happened to my daughter or the pictures that you guys have. He's seen them. He starts ordering.
How old is Cassandra, honey? How old
right now? She's 20.
Okay.
And so.
And how old was she when this started? How old was she when this started?
Well, she was already 10 years old, and they stopped us from seeing her when she was 12 years old because I would not sign a piece of paper that I would not stop recording or videotaping. And if I don't sign that paper, they will not let me see my daughter. And they wanted me to pay him $130 every time I record a visit. And plus, when I went that very first time in court, I told them very clearly to each and one of their faces that I was going to be recording them, like it or not. I told them very clearly, each and you are going to be recorded. And that included the commissioner at the time, Lawrence Ornell, in Sonoma County, California, Santa Rosa, California. That little crooked, bald-headed, less of a ball sacks. I told him very clear what I was going to do. I guess they didn't believe it. You know, remember, my husband's the calm one. I'm the one that's more aggressive, the more than one, you know, because this is my daughter. This is my kid that didn't deserve, you know, what happened. So he ordered this treatment of lupus. I remember I was telling you, they kept on insisting for me to sign a paper, and I told them no.
Yes.
They off-court records, they were threatening me, saying that they're going to take my daughter if I wouldn't sign. I still refused to sign, and I told them I'm not signing nothing. Nothing. I told him very clearly. My husband's like, no, I'm not signing for these.
Good for you.
I'm going to give them to the devil. These freaking, I looked at all of them because justice is what happened to my daughter. The doctor's supposed to be answering to all the stuff that they did to my daughter. not me. I didn't do that because that's abuse. If somebody hits your kid, that's abuse. So then, he ordered treatment without looking at no medical records and no doctors present. And I say, they already communicated out of court because if you look at everything and you look at the transcript, how did he knew that my daughter had an infection? And why didn't he question what really happened in my whole thing? Why did this kid was left the way she was left? What's really going on? So we had more courts to go. My daughter, they were already, and at the end, they were treating my daughter for an infection. Again, because the way they left her, remember, she had E. coli. She went in septic shock. They didn't really, at the end when they took us out of the hospital, it's a long story, very long. Okay. My daughter started going through, when we're already going into 30 days, this guy's ordering all this treatment. They do not let me with my daughter. They don't let me stay with my daughter like I usually am, seeing everything, taking pictures of everything, the medicine, because I'm very intelligent, very smart. Is that these little lowlifes didn't know that, which I call them gangsters because they're more gangsters.
They are gangsters.
Gangsters don't do what they have done.
They are gangsters and lowlifes. They are gangsters and lowlifes. That's exactly what they are.
So he orders this. The next thing, my daughter, with all this medication that I had to give her, that I had to, give her, they were giving her for malignant as well, for when I went to go get the prescription at the pharmacy. He goes, "Who is this for?" And I said, "For my daughter." I go, "It's court ordered to give it to her." She goes, "Be careful with this because this is very strong. You got to make sure that your daughter, because this is for malignant, not for, treated for, and I said, "Well, just give it to me because I'm court ordered to give her this." And at the time, I wasn't in Facebook. I didn't know who to run to, to help. I was crying. I was running everywhere for help. And I had my daughter at the same time. So we start giving her that medicine. And remind you, we have to go to dialysis Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I mean, if you read my timeline, you'll see everything there. I did it my best. I'm not the best writer. I had a problem. But hey, I don't give up and sit there. I can't do this. I can't do that. Because it's not about me. It's about my kid. It's about who I did it for her, not for me. I could be sitting down and getting drunk and doing drugs. I don't do none of that because that's not going to get me nowhere. What's going to get me somewhere is keep on trying, and I will succeed with you too. With you people, right. I'm not giving up. My tears are strong, but I hold them in because the tears it's going to be when you guys are in prison for what you have done to our family, for our family. This mother is not no loser, low life, druggie, alcoholic, anything. My life, my kids, and there's the proof. Because you little lowlifes can't do what I have done. So we go to my daughter passes out. She was out like you couldn't talk to her, nothing. My husband took her. The ambulance came to her house. They took her and Santa Rosa. They took her to the hospital, which this hospital has nothing to do with Stanford, right? They're not connected. They're nothing like UC San Francisco and Stanford. They're all connected. Please, people, when you take your kids to the hospital, please do some research. Look into your kids' stuff because these doctors are killing your kids to rob their kidneys to give them to somebody else that has more power of money. Look into your case to make sure your kid is right diagnosed. Make sure that the doctor you're talking to is not hooked with another doctor that you might want to see another opinion to another hospital. Because these doctors are connected and they will cover up for each other. Mm-hmm. So thank God I went to this hospital that did not do it. That they didn't stand next to Stanford, right? I walk in, my daughter, the doctor's, talking to my husband because my husband went with my daughter. Me and my son went, after. My husband told us where they were at. We go there. And the doctor is, he comes in and he sees me. I'm, at this point, I can't cry because I already know I'm just wore out, stress wore out, my strength, you could see everything. I was just, I was praying to God, like, help me, God, I need help because, my daughter, they're going to take her. I mean, this little girl does not deserve. She's just a kind, little, loving little child, my daughter that I made. So the doctor starts looking at me and he tells me, "Oh, we think, the loop." And then he goes, "Why were they giving her that malignant pills?" And I said, "I don't know." Then I start kind of explaining to him a little bit. I said, "Look, they did all this stuff to my daughter." And then he seen how my daughter's legs were down, her little legs, her neck. So he felt bad. He really felt bad. The doctor felt like, You know, he like for one somebody believed, you know, for one somebody, a doctor, you know, that had a heart not for money but for a child, for a family that knew that we were not. So he's like, okay, well, you know, he goes, we're going to transfer your daughter to another room because they had to put a tube in her, inside her to breathe her, you know, because she was like in a coma. She couldn't talk to her or feel her hand, nothing. She was in a coma the way she was with all this. So they put her in the other room. My husband had to leave home to go get the stuff, waiting for Stanford, because Stanford's is 2 hours to get to Santa Rosa, where we originally resigned. They're from Palo Alto. So they come, you know, my husband leaves to go get clothes and stuff that we need to go to the, you know, in our car to follow them when the ambulance gets there. So when they transferred my daughter to the other room, I think this doctor first wasn't going to do nothing for my daughter, just wait for Stanford, you know, to pick her up. But I guess he had a change of heart, and he said, hey, they start taking blood from my daughter, taking x-rays from her chest, from everywhere, you know, just they start doing all this blood work. And the blood that they did was for cultures. And remind you, I have all the medical records to prove the crooks, all right? Just the way you've seen everything that I have sent you guys. I don't play games. I saved all my stuff.
I feel Ted, as she's telling it, I don't know if you're already showing a lot of these pictures, but that would be good to do that while she. And
you guys, medical, if we could do another show in a later time, so I could show it, because these people really need to expose. These medical records have never been inside the court because they refused them. They only took what they wanted to put in there. So, you know, they would draw the blood, everything. My husband comes back. We're sitting in the room. The doctor comes in. It was my son, my husband, and myself. And the doctor goes, you know, I want to tell you what your daughter might have in the head. She has, you know, it could either be cancer. It could either be an infection or hemorrhage. And her lungs, the same thing. He goes, but we don't know yet what's going on, you know, there's, you know, with your daughter. She goes, but it could be one of those 3 things. And I'm like, oh my God, and he's not saying it's lupus at all, because it was never lupus. They cover it because they did all the wrong. They already gave her wrong medication. Well, God, then they messed her up. They couldn't be enough pants to say, you know what, to the mother and the father, we're sorry. Let's start moving forward. We did the wrong diagnose. We made some mistakes. Let's heal your daughter. Work together. Not keep on making us cry, making us my daughter. I seen all the pain my kid went through. Because of you, doctors, because of covering. Be men enough, be woman enough to tell the truth when something like this happened. Don't cover it up. Do the right thing because you're there for honesty. You're educated. You were able to get a career, except I didn't. But look at me compared to you. Yeah. So, the doc, you know, they wanted us to sit down because Stanford came to pick up my daughter. They were arguing with the doctor. They wanted him to take everything down, the x-rays, to throw it away. I was seeing everything. The doctor comes up to me. You know, before the doctor came up to me, a nurse comes up to me and tells me, hey, you know, your daughter, and I explained to her, look, I have everything, every proof of medical records that my daughter was wrong. I knows that he goes, keep them. You're going to need them for the long run. Don't give up. She was telling me all this. She heard me, what I had to tell her, you know. She heard my stuff. She heard my heart. She heard as a mother what I was. So that, you know, doctor comes when those people were arguing with the doctor, wanted him to do what they wanted, the CD, the disc. They wanted the disc from the x-rays that he refused to give to them. He comes up to me. He goes, give this mother everything that we have right now, every medical record in this, every blood work that we took from that daughter, give it to this mother. I get up and I give him a big hug. He looks in my eyes and I look in his eyes and I said, thank you. Thank you for what you have done, because if it wouldn't have been for him, yes, they would have put us in jail for making up more stories. Because, you know, remember, I'm outstanding mother for my kids.
That's right.
You know, so then, you know, they leave, we leave. You know, they give me what they give me. They take my daughter, and I remind you, they refused to let us, any of us, in the ambulance with my daughter. Yeah. So we had to go in the car together. They were refused that we couldn't go because supposedly we couldn't fit. So we go in our own cars, 2 hours drive back to Stanford, you know. We get there to Stanford, you know, that my daughter, remind you, she's still in coma. They have a stick in her mouth, you know, for breathing, and intubated her. Well, I'm sitting with my daughter the next morning. See, God works miracle, crooks, evils. God is a miracle. God works miracles, and he has gave me all this power as a mother, because he knows I'm a good mother, maybe I'm the best wife, but I am a good damn mom. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I'm honest. If you ask me anything, like it or not, I'm honest. I'm not here to play games. I'm not here to be looking like I'm a saint, I don't sin. I have sins, but not like you, crooks. I take responsibility and I repent with what I have done.
That's right.
So then we go the next morning, remind you the doctors, the same crooks that I forgot to send you guys the pictures so you could put those damn crooks. It's in my Facebook. If anybody goes look, you'll find them. He comes up to us, oh, it's lupus, and I'm recording him. Okay, I always put recorders on my boobs, on my vagina, everywhere. I spend money on recorders. I'm not here to play the games. I'm not here to play any of them. If we're gonna here to do supervised visitations and go to these courts, you have cameras right there. Why can't we do it? Because ours tell the truth and the right evidence. Yours say the corruption and the dishonest. Be ashamed. You have kids. Be ashamed of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Be ashamed. I want to say bad words because you don't deserve bad words. You're evil and devils that dress in suits, dress in outfits, and then eat so properly little dinners here, and while kids are suffering from your injustice. That's right. So, the doctor comes up to us and tells us, oh, my son wasn't feeling well either, so we had to go rush and go get him something. And my son at the time was about 19 years old. And remind you, he was going to school, college, very well-educated kids that I have raised. Because but I raised these kids to have a future, so I don't have to cry tears when I'll leave out of the world. And to teach them the right, not to steal, not to rob, and not to sell yourself for the injustice. Ever. We might not take a steak, but we have love in our family. We could eat beans, but if we make them with taste and love, we're all happy. That's what we need. Not fake houses, fake. We have to sweat our money, to be honest, to get everything. If we do wrong, we do right. So he's telling us that my daughter has lupus. All the inflammation is due to lupus. So I start saying, oh my God, what? Because remember, I didn't have the cultures yet. So we leave to the, he finished telling us what he tell us. We leave from the hospital to go, like I told you, my son wasn't feeling well, to go get him something. We come back and me and my husband choose to go inside to see my daughter. When we go inside, remember, she's still passed out. She's still, incubated. We go in there and I start seeing medicine that I didn't see, So I go to the nurse. I said to my husband, and he's not like me, this is my kid. It's his kid too. I'm very aggressive.
Every breath. That's right.
So I go to I start asking the nurse. I said, "Excuse me, what is this medicine?" They said, "Oh, the hospital called us and sent us the results. Your daughter has a serious infection, streptococcus. Streptococcus is all due to E. coli, everything." And remind you, I forgot to tell you, I have to skip little parts because mine is going to take 8 hours to tell you the full story. Remember, she had E. coli. Remember the catheter, all that junk, the way they have left her. You think she's going to heal? No, she's not. Blood coming out of her catheter because of their errors, because of their damages, not because of mother. So she starts telling me, I said, oh, I was acting dumb, all right? I was acting stupid. And I said, oh, can you write this? So I had her write it on writing. What medication they were giving my daughter. Everything was so strong for infection, right? Streptococcus is a very severe infection. And of course, my daughter went to septic shock. I mean, what is these doctors really doing? Are we playing this game? So here comes the doctor that just told us that it was all inflammation and lupus, all right? And he sees us in there, my husband. And I said to my husband, now do you believe what I'm telling you? Look at what they're doing to us.
Yeah.
Sure, I have to go. Look, I said, we leave. He tells us, oh, why don't you guys go to sleep? And he still had the right to tell us, your daughter, sorry, wrongly diagnosed your daughter. She has an infection severely, to make things right, to make everything right. Because I'm not here to sue. I'm a mother. We are humans. We all do wrong. We all do, errors. But the biggest point of anybody, and if anybody ever does an error, go tell them, make it right so their heart's clear. Because anything can be accomplished with that. Anything. I could heal my daughter with that instead of keep on going on in court with the stuff that you guys did to us.
Yeah.
So then
what for the sake of the audience, hospitals, doctors, judges,
It was Stanford. It was Commissioner at the time he was Commissioner Lawrence O'Neill, but Jerry Brown made him judge after I sent him letters of evidence, just the way I send you guys.
Yeah.
And audio recordings, and I wanted to meet with them, and you guys got my Jerry's letter. I sent it to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there, sending me. They didn't even want to meet me in person, and he didn't even sign. And then he makes a judge after I tell him what's going on in this court to make more corruption.
Yeah.
Kathy Smith, which I know there's a couple of people know who she is, attorney. Bonita Alonso, the doctors. All the doctors are. I should have sent it to you guys so you guys could know each and one of their names. That's why I'm saying, can you guys give me another show so I could do that and have more of a presentation? Because as a team, I'm going to teach you guys. We need to do it. It doesn't matter if you can't read or write. When we have kids, that doesn't. We should keep on trying. Because I couldn't write. They know it, but look at me. I succeeded, and I have done it. So let's not make no excuse. Don't fear it, especially when you're not at guilt, because they do. They threaten us. They put us in jail. They don't even put us in jail for a crime, but for nothing. But they put us in jail because we don't apologize to them for notifying other people.
Or for defending our rights. Put people in jail for defending their rights or for protecting their children.
Yeah,
their families the way they see fit. These are all violations of human civil liberty.
Yeah, that's... Well, I'm gonna short this point. I came to find out. I told my husband that they go home. Don't go to work. Whatever you do, not go to work. You go straight to go give me those medical records of what infection my daughter has, and you bring them to me here. I don't care before these people convince somebody else to change this. You go over there because I wouldn't leave my daughter's sight. No matter how much abuse these freaking doctors put me through.
Right. Of course.
They send me cops. One doctor lay a hand on me, and I swear to you, I could fight and I could throw you a blow that you would not want me to do. But I had more common sense to use my head because I know they were provoking me. And I said, because I want my daughter to use her brains, not her hands or her body to it's not worth it's not worth dirtying your hands over dirty blood. It's not worth it. One way or another, you guys will pay for what you have done. Don't think you're not. Don't think you're living this beautiful life, sitting in a black suit that you guys are dirty with blood. Dirty with blood. So my husband goes home. The next day he goes to work, and I'm telling him, what are you doing at work? Go give me the medical. He did do that. He brought it. Boom, there it is. They take us to court. They served us. They served us in the hospital. The doctor that did all this wrong comes to serve us. They called us. My daughter finally wakes up and she's like, my mom is a good mom, telling everybody she's my mother, just the way you're.
Let's talk about that. So she comes up out of sedation and she wakes up, and now she's exactly how old at this point?
At this point, she was already 11.
11 years old. So now now on top of the fact that she's now finding herself in a hospital, coming up out of sedation, she sees that all this other trauma is going on around her now with her mother and father.
No, she was seeing it for this.
How's she dealing with this at this point? Because this is so traumatic.
You know what? What happened is that she was in there. I go and see her. Me and my son go in there because remember, my husband's trying to get these medical records. We're in there. My daughter out of the blues tells me, "Mom, don't touch me," and I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "I have an infection and I'm going to die."
Okay, that's what comes out of her mouth at 11 years old.
Why was she woke up?
So that's what they told her.
I go, "No, you're not, my daughter. You're not going to die. I love you. You're not. I could touch you." So I touch her. She goes, "No, I could give it to you." She's, remind you, my daughter is very intelligent. Just the way you see my son, both of them, very intelligent. I brought him up to.
Mm-hmm.
So then I go to the nurse. I say, "Why is my daughter saying?" Remember, I already knew about the infection, but these still people are not telling me, all right? Because they told everybody not to tell me, all right?
Right.
And the nurse that told me got in trouble for writing on a piece of paper and telling me. So, yeah, and so here comes, I asked the nurse, "Why is my daughter saying this?" So then they send me a psychiatrist that my daughter's crazy. The psychiatrist comes in there and he goes, "Yeah, your daughter needs to be evaluated. She's not, she's crazy." He goes, "She's not right." I said, "My daughter's not crazy." I said, "Go look at her school. I know who my daughter's very intelligent." I said, "So don't give me this." I said, "You get out of here." I said, "My daughter's not crazy." I go, what are you guys doing to my daughter?"
Mm-hmm.
So then they leave out, he leaves out of there, the psychiatrist. He's in shock because, yes, I'm standing up. You're putting me saying my daughter's crazy? This girl works really hard in school. She's a very intelligent little girl. I'm not going to let you.
How can he evaluate your daughter when she just came up out of a coma and do a diagnosis like this that she's quote-unquote?
Because they were so upset.
Shouldn't a psychologist or psychiatrist come up with a better terminology than crazy?
But where says, you know what? Why did they do that? Because she told me about the infection that they're covering up.
Right. I mean, I understand that. My point is that any professional is not going to use the term crazy.
Yeah, they're trying to cover up the infection and because remember, she's supposed to be treated for lupus.
Right, I know.
And that's why we went to court. Remember, to treat her for lupus because her kidneys are going to fail. Remember.
I don't know how a mother could actually give a child lupus, but anyway, go ahead.
So then after that, they tell me that I need to get out of there. So I leave out of there. I'm here reminding you, trying to go to a lawyer. I left out of there to go to a lawyer, talk to them and tell them, hey, I need help. Help, please. I need my dog. So it didn't happen. I go back to the hospital. My husband comes. He shows up. The next, the same day they after this, they put my daughter that she's not in the hospital. She doesn't exist because my husband's mother was coming to visit my daughter. They go, hey, your daughter's not here. I keep on asking for her. I said, what? Yes, my daughter's here. I'm in this room. They put my daughter that she's not in the hospital anymore. They call us from the intercom.
They messed up so bad. They just kept messing up.
We get called from an intercom. The parents, no, they said, well, the Casandra Bojo. They don't even say the parents. They say Casandra Bojo. So we're like, oh my God, there's something wrong with our daughter. Let's go. So then I see Sandra Ball. So her name is Sandra Ball, big old moose. It takes me to, she goes, come here, I want to talk to you. They take us in the room with a whole security. Remind you, there's not just one security. There's a couple of them, big old fat ones, for us. My husband's much more, but I'm the more, like you see me. I speak out. I'm speaking out the truth. And people do not like when you speak out the truth. Either they call you crazy, nut. I'm not. Because if I was a nut, I wouldn't be walking the street or I wouldn't be as high as I am in life, what I have accomplished. Mm-hmm. They tell us the social worker, Donna Smith, the little evil devil, she's on the phone. The doctor service that we have, they're taking our daughter with a warrant. I don't know what paper, because remind you, I don't know about this stuff. All right.
Did you ever see a warrant? Did you ever see a warrant?
No, it wasn't a.
Hold on. I'm going to ask Ted to do an intermission right now. I'm going to talk with you on chat for a quick second. And give us a minute and hold that thought.
All right. I'll turn you down and I'll play. Which one would you like me to play?
You can do Lara and Jess back to back.
All right.
Thank you.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get down here.
Hi. The reason for this video is to implore and encourage all of my friends, family and acquaintances to not purchase anything. Zip, zero, zilch, nothing. On January 3rd, 2018, we are protesting family court and the fact that they do not stand up for the best interests of children, and also that CPS, Child Predator Services, is not doing what's in the best interest of children. I hope you'll join me and punish for protecting. Hi. The reason for this video is to implore and encourage all of my friends, family and acquaintances to not purchase anything. Zip, zero, zilch, nothing. On January 3rd, 2018, we are protesting family court and the fact that they do not stand up for the best interests of children, and also that CPS, Child Predator Services, is not doing what's in the best interest of children. I hope you'll join me and punish for protecting. January 3rd, 2018. Please message me if you have any other questions. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm just taking a few minutes out of my busy schedule, I wanted to talk to you about something that I'm sure most of you know what's going on, but most of you also don't know what's going on. January the 3rd, 2018, America is going to come to a standstill. A standstill in honor of the millions of children that have been kidnapped, murdered, sold. Yes, a modern slavery, correct. This is the new trend that has been going on for many, many years in America. Many years. Family court has become a billion-dollar industry. And the saddest part about this is that the system was created that way. The system was created that way to protect these corrupt people. These are the laws that have been passed overnight. These are the laws that have been put in place. And until you go into family court, until you realize that, oh my God, it's happening to too many people. Unfortunately, it has taken millions of kids, millions of parents that have committed suicide, millions of separated families. And these judges just continue, and it just becomes business as normal. In California itself, judges have not been audited for over 40 years. They have not been audited. Laws have been passed to support politicians. Laws have been passed to protect these people. We have decided, through punish for protecting, we have decided January the 3rd, 2018 is when we own our dignity. Yes, we've lost our children. Yes, we've lost our properties. Yes, we've been stripped naked. But we have not lost our self-dignity. But to make it very clear, we have decided January the 3rd, 2018, we will stand up straight and we will own it. We will send a strong message to judges, to lawyers, liars, court reporters, and all court administrators. The way we will do it is we will not shop. We will not put in gas. The only gas we're going to pass is the one behind us. We will not buy anything. We will not continue to pay taxes. That's what we'll be doing. We will send a strong message. We will never, never continue to foot the retirements and pensions of these judges, these corrupt courts. We're saying that's it, enough. We're not doing it anymore. And if they've not taken us serious, you better believe they'll take us serious on January the 3rd. Because we will unite around the world. We will unite Australia, the UK, America, Canada. We're saying, not anymore. You're not going to use our money and our heartache, our right to our constitution, our pursuit of happiness. You use it as a piggy bank to facilitate your pensions, your retirements. Shame on you, sis. Ugh, horrible. How mean can you be? How do you sleep? Well, guess what? We'll see how you sleep on January the 3rd when we just shut America down. We will shut America down. We punish for protecting. We will shut America down. So please, everybody, have a wonderful Christmas. Just remember, Don't think it's not going to happen to you because you don't have children and you have not been in family court. Please support this movement. It is crazy. It's been going on for many, many years. Family court has been $1 billion industry for decades. Let's stop it. Let's say enough is enough. Love you all. Don't forget, punish for protecting.
Are you ready, Francesca? Or would you like me to?
Yes. So, Avelia, if you're able to check your inbox messages, I'm not sure. But for the sake of time, I want to make sure that we've got all of the photos and stuff. It's hard for me to see what's happening on Facebook at this moment while doing a live at the same time. I want to make sure that your daughter's story is told, and if we have to do a part 2, we will get to that. But the pictures are being shown, it looks like now. The damages to your daughter, and we need to kind of bring this to a close momentarily so that we can have this edited for well, not actually, this one actually will go out exactly as is for TV purposes, so it will be seen. The last person you saw doing that, that's our chapter leader for Solano County in California, Carmel Foster, and we have the almost entire state of California airing us on the public access TV and government TV there. And we have a lot of domestic violence, real advocacy groups that are disgusted with what's gone on in the state of California for eons. And then this also story will air in several of our TV stations in New York, Panda TV, PATV, which is Long Island, which is a humongous viewing audience, as well as New Paltz, New York, which is a smaller audience, but it's a fairly decent size. And so I have to keep it within a certain amount of time. Otherwise, I cannot get it out on there. It can't run as a special. So if there's a few other things you want to kind of close it up with at this point, and then we'll get you back on another time. But it's a very powerful story for viewers to see so much negligence by corrupt judges, doctors, and so on and so forth.
Cops.
Instead of them fixing, like you said, and adding integrity into what they caused and correcting their mistakes, they just continue to compound the issues.
Yeah, because they don't want a lawsuit. They're so scared of their reputation, losing their license, living the life because, and you know what? There's so many of them that are so corrupted because they know each other. I forgot to mention that the attorney that they gave me to the court that already knew us, her husband, I came to investigate, I was in court. They just never knew who I was. I did tell at a point, had a Mars hearing, asking to, for another attorney.
Yeah.
Came to find out that an attorney, and I told Lawrence Ornell, judge now, that he did not tell me my constitutional rights, that he did not tell me if I wanted to take it to trial that day. It's in my transcript, all the violations they did. Her husband worked for the hospital that committed the damage to my daughter, both hospitals. I questioned her too, and I said it in the court. Her husband works for the hospital. How in the heck is this representing me, knowing all this stuff? Then they gave me another one. I recorded the attorney said, well, I took the last one, I showed her my recorder. I took her right out of my private part, and I told her, you've been recorded. Her mouth opened so wide that it almost looked like it was going to fall to the ground. But my conclusion to this, that please, people, help us. This could happen to you, and do not fear these people because they will intimidate you. They don't want you to speak up. They don't want you to say nothing. They want you to intimidate. My husband, they put him in jail for sending out letters and then sending back to the corrupted Lawrence O'Neill back the letters ripped up saying you have to appear in court. And just because my husband wouldn't apologize to him for doing that, he placed my husband in jail for 2 days, make him lose work. They take our money. They were there for 1 month. They take $2,000 for our daughter, that injustice that they have taken away. You can't go to these courts and say, because they say you can't talk about it. It's in a different, you have no rights. We need rights. If we're going to be working at a court, because we're learning from you judges, you are supposed to be our example. That's what you're there for. You attorneys are example. You're supposed to be like God until you get out of this world, until we can leave. You're supposed to be doing the right. I learned from you, Commissioner Lawrence or Nell. But what am I going to learn? Corruption? Should I be a criminal just like you? Just because you have money, just because you're sitting in a black suit? You should be ashamed teaching any other kid your dishonest jobs. Or even your own kids. You have 5 kids. I seen them. And your wife, your ex-wife, because you sure don't wear a ring, that she works for probation. What are we learning from you? Nothing. Dishonest jobs. You're stealing our hard-working money. We're the sweating people. While you're sitting there being disgraceful, being dishonest, being ashamed, being biased. I know you don't like Hispanics. I know you don't like nothing else. You little crook. You have your peanuts so little and your balls shrunk because a real man wouldn't have done what you have done. You're not a man. And you're not to be called a judge. Honorable. You're not an honorable either. You're the dishonorable. And this goes to every judge out there that are do the right thing. Look at the paperwork. Forget about the money, because at the end of this day that you live in this world, when you die, when God calls upon you, you're not taking your house. You're not taking all the $1 million that you made off corruption. You're not taking nothing. But remember, you're going to be seeing all the souls that you have hurt.
That's right.
All the blood that you have done. All the tears of parents. The kids that have to cry. You manipulated my daughter to send me messages of threats when I'm doing what I need to do for my daughter. And it's not her sending me that. It's you forcing her to do what she has to make her. What are you doing? And then the parents were the foster so-called parents. How much money are they collecting from all these kids? My daughter's not her first foster kid. They have many. And if you see their house, which I need to send you guys that next. Yes. Commissioner Lawrence, fear me, because I seen you face to face. I didn't put my face down or my eyes down. When I spoke, I looked at you very straight in the eyes, just that you never knew what intelligent of a mother I am. When I served you back the papers, you didn't like it, huh? Your face turned all red. But why should I keep on going in a court that is so corrupted? We need justice. People are coming together.
That's right.
And justice sometimes walks slow, really slow. And when it gets there, you're going to be burning on fire, all of you.
Yeah, but when justice finally does show up, when justice shows up, watch out, because God gives mercy for a long time. But when justice finally shows up, which is here now, Avelia, thank you so much for your truth. I wish we had more time, but unfortunately we do not. But you hear the mother's cries, you hear the mother's heart. You are a fighter, you are a warrior, and I appreciate you, and I am grateful and honored to have you on our show today, and also for the fight that you have put out for all these years now is coming to a head as we are uniting as one mighty globe to protect these children and families. So I thank you for also participating in January 3rd. And Ted, I'm just going to ask you to please show, if you have Jessica's with the Santa hat and the one that I just sent you, I'm not sure if you showed it, but if you could show that one more time, and we can wrap now and make sure all of her pictures went out. Thank you guys so much. Please.
Thank you so much, Francisca.
I want to remind everybody, please, right now, too, we have the Twitter storm going on with Cindy Allen. I need you guys, everyone that's on Twitter, she's opened up a media newsroom on Twitter and blasting all day. God bless you all. I've got a wrap.
I can't be quiet anymore. I can't keep watching anymore. What's dear to me is dear to my God. I can't shed more tears, I know it's time to fight. It's time to remove the mask. For once, let's be honest. We parents will not step back. Our children deserve the best. Punished for protecting them. listen all that. Our voices rise because our love is deep. We can be innocent, hear our hearts beat, hear our hearts beat. It's time to remove the mask. For once let us be honest. We parents will not stop back. Our children deserve the best. It's time to remove the mask. For once let us be honest. We parents will not stop back. Our children deserve the best. It's time to remove the mask. For once let us be honest. We parents will not stop back. Our children deserve